my peace in the war. You speak light into darkness. You tell me I'm yours. Only you, Jesus, are in control. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need. You speak life, sing your love over me. You're all I need, you're all I need. Caught up in your captivating, never failing love. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need. The love of a father, the strength of a king, the blood of a savior. You're my everything. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need. You speak life, sing your love over me. You're all I need, you're all I need. Caught up in your captivating, never failing love. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need. Only you, Jesus, are in control. Take my brokenness and make me whole. Only you, Jesus, are in control. Take my brokenness and make me whole. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need. You speak life, sing your love over me. You're all I need, you're all I need. Caught up in your captivating, never failing love. You are my every heartbeat, every breath that I breathe. You're all I need, you're all I need.
Order up, my friends. It's me, Graham. And today, I'm serving up a delicious dish that's gonna make you jealous. Safety first. Double chocolate chip cookies. Taste test time. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna eat these now, they're way too hot. I'm gonna have to wait to enjoy this chewy, gooey deliciousness. Which means I'll need patience. Patience is waiting until later for what you want now. It'll be a challenge to wait, but I will do it. Do you smell that? Well, no. You wouldn't. So, let me try and describe the smell for you. Imagine you're walking along a beach made entirely of chocolate. The chocolate ocean is waving nearby. And as you breathe in, the air is a warm chocolate breeze. That's what it feels like to be in the presence of these cookies. Maybe just one bite. No! No cookies! Oh, I've got to think about something else. Light, vegetable oil, mannequin, crock pot, cookies. No! Ah! Time to put these away. There. Now it will be easy to wait. I can still smell them. In today's story, we'll hear about a group of people who are finding it very hard to wait. And they knew better. I'll be here when you get back.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verses 1 through 13.
Hello everyone, happy March and welcome back to another Sunday service. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We are working through our theme, Bake Off, where we know that it's worth the wait, and we are specifically talking about patience. Whew! And patience means that we are waiting until later for things that we want now. And let me tell you, being patient is so hard. It is so very difficult. And it's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. But God does ask us to be people who walk in patience. And last week, we talked about a man by the name of Simeon who waited so long to see Jesus. And when he did, he was overjoyed. Well, today, I have another story for you guys to talk about this idea of being patient and waiting for it and making the wise choice to wait, which sometimes is incredibly hard. So, we're going to back it way up. So last week we were in the New Testament. We're now going back to the Old Testament. So we are backing it all the way up. Some of you guys might remember a man by the name of Moses and Aaron. We have talked about them before, but it has been quite a while. And Moses led, if you don't remember, the Israelite people out of Egypt and into the promised land. He led them out of Egypt, they crossed the Red Sea, and they came into the land that God had promised them. And it was awesome. Now, Aaron was Moses' brother and basically kind of his right-hand man. So if Moses wasn't around, Aaron was like the next big thing. And after they had crossed the Red Sea, the Israelites were living in the wilderness, and they had been in the wilderness for quite some time. And while they were there, while they were free, there was a lot of things happening in the wilderness. But one day they finally came to a place called Mt Sinai. And there they made camp and they rested. And even in wandering in the wilderness, God still provided. He provided manna for them, which was like a type of food. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's kind of weird. It would come in the mornings and it'd last all day. And then if you tried to save it, it would go bad that night. So God provided fresh manna for them every day. And so they came to the base of Mount Sinai, which big old mountain. And while they were there, God told Moses, hey, I want you to come up to the top of the mountain and I want to talk with you. So Moses travels up to the mountain, and in Exodus chapter 19, verse 4-5, we see God say this to Moses on the mountain. He says, "You have seen for yourselves what I did to Egypt. You saw how I carried you on the wings of eagles and brought you to myself. Now obey me completely. Keep my covenant. If you do, then out of all the nations, you will be my special treasure." Wow, what an awesome thing. So after Moses and God have this conversation, Moses travels back down the mountain to where the rest of the Israelites are. He then conveys what God just said. He said, hey, if we keep his commandments, if we follow him, we're going to be his special treasure. And of course, then the Israelites will, yeah, of course, we want to be his special treasure. So then they do that. And they continue to follow him. Well, a little while later, God says, hey, I need to talk to Moses again. So he calls Moses back up onto the mountain. And as Moses reached the very top, a cloud covered it. Just like some of you, if you get up early in the morning, you can see like a fog laying in the ground and stuff like that. Kind of like that, but it was like they no longer could see Moses on top of the mountain. So this cloud came in, covered the mountain, and Moses actually stayed up this time on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. That's a long time. That's a whole month and part of another one. Like, that's a really long time. And while Moses was up there, he had a lot of awesome conversations with God. Now, while Moses was away, remember Aaron. Aaron was in charge. And so they were waiting patiently for Moses to come back down. And of course, Aaron's making sure everybody's peaceful, everybody's cool, nobody's like having a big issue. Well, problem was some of the people were tired of waiting patiently. And they were like, well, we want to see God and we want to know and we this and we that and blah, 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 blah. They were getting very impatient. And so they would come to Moses and they would whine and complain and they would get so upset. So they told Aaron, they said, hey, we're tired of waiting. Can you please make us a statue that we can worship? Like, we want to make a statue that we can worship so that way we know, like, it's God. Like, because we want to see God. So we're going to put it all in a statue and we're going to worship the statue. And here's a hint. God can't be in a statue. God, like, no, that's not how this works. But the Israelites were like, no, it's going to work. It's going to be fine. So they convinced Aaron, and Aaron took all their gold, they melted it down, and they created a golden calf. And then, of course, Aaron then looks at the people, and in Exodus chapter 32, verse 4, Aaron says, Israel, here is your God who brought you out of Egypt. It's in a golden calf. That was not the God who brought them out of Egypt, just so you know. But the Israelites they believed it and they worshiped it. And so they started worshiping this golden calf. Well, remember, Moses is still up there and he's talking with God. So in chapter 32, verses 7 to 8, God tells Moses, go down. Your people you brought out of Egypt have become very sinful. They have quickly turned away from what I commanded them. Now remember, a few chapters ago, God told Moses, hey, I have brought you out of Egypt. Follow me and I will make you my treasured people. Well, they got impatient. They made a calf and now they're worshiping the calf, thinking it's God, but it's not. And we all know that. So Moses comes down and he gets angry and he is furious with them, going, how dare you? So as he comes down, Moses meets Joshua, who Joshua will later become the leader of the Israelites. And Joshua is like, hey, so this is what happened, and yeah, I know it's not okay, so kind of how do we fix it? So Moses and Joshua took the calf and they threw it into the fire, and they ground up all of the gold into powder and put it into water. And then they made the people drink this golden water. Yuck! That's so gross. I would not want to do that. It's not necessarily a happy ending, but it is what happened. And it shows us that, you know what? Sometimes, while it doesn't seem like it's worth waiting, in the long run it is. You never know. You might end up drinking gold powder in your water. Ugh. Nobody wants that. That's gross. That's icky. Don't do it. It's not very good. Not at all. So we know, of course, that we continue to know that we can trust God no matter what. But we also want to make the wise choice and not give in to different things. So we want to make that wise choice to go, you know what? I know this is what everybody else is doing, but I'm still going to sit here and wait patiently. And we want to do that unlike the Israelite people. Even though they decided to not do it anymore, we want to make sure that we don't follow in their footsteps. And when it doesn't seem worth it, we still wait for it. We still practice patience, and we make that wise choice to go, you know what? I'm not going to give in, and I'm going to continue to follow Jesus and wait for him to move. So as we continue about this week, don't be like the Israelites. Do not give in when you should not give in. Be people who are patient and wait for things to turn around and be good for you guys. That is all we have for today. I love you guys, and I will see you all again next time. Let's see what our friends are up to.
I have a confession to make. I didn't eat the cookies! I had patience! I have another confession to make. Sometimes I don't have patience. No, sometimes I'm more like the Israelites in the story. I trick myself into thinking I can't wait for what I want. Have you ever done that? Have you ever eaten a snack when you weren't supposed to because you couldn't wait until dinner? Have you ever found the secret hiding place for presents because you couldn't wait until your birthday to find out what you got? A lot of us have done those things even though we know better. Maybe instead of tricking ourselves into thinking we can't wait, we can remember what's true. Instead of eating that snack you're not supposed to, remember it spoils your appetite at dinner time. Instead of sneaking around and looking for presents, remember how happy it makes others when they surprise you. And if you're waiting for something big, some pain to go away or sadness to end, remember what God has done in the past. Remember his miracles. Remember his son, Jesus, who died on a cross for us and who came back to life in 3 days. Ask God to help you control what you think. Here is the one thing to remember today. When you have to wait, remember what's true. It sounds easy to control what you think, but really it takes practice. Start now and who knows? Someday you may find yourself on a chocolate beach near a chocolate ocean feeling a warm chocolate breeze. Ew! Chocolate seagull. I don't think I'm hungry anymore.